Hey everyone, I'm your host, Kaydan Belay.
I'm Ethan Belay.
And welcome back to Our Minds Lifestyle Podcast. And today, a question I have for you and for you guys, can women handle financial responsibilities? Hey everyone, welcome back to Our Minds Lifestyle. We focus on finances, relationships, and more.
You trying to get me canceled already, huh?
No, but I have a perspective. I want to hear your perspective because the way we move financially could be different from other people.
So when you say handle,
So can I start off with a story?
yeah.
All right, so I was talking to this lady and she pretty much told me that she's calling in to give her husband, she owns a property, and she's calling in to give her husband authorization to be able for us to speak to him, for him to call in, make payments, and for us to give him information. Mm-hmm. The reason why she was doing that is because she can't focus on everything financially because she's trying to work on her business. She's trying to, I don't know if they have kids and their whole detail of their life, but there's other stuff she's working on. So for her, financially running the household, she can't do it.
Okay. So based off of
it's too overwhelming for her.
So based off of that, I don't think that is more of a, like, if women can handle financial, like, because I feel like what she's dealing with is probably what any busy person, not any busy person, because some people can handle their life better than others, but she's not the only one that would have that problem, male or female. Now, as far as to be more specific, if women specifically can handle their finances, I guess it would be the same answer that would go for men. Like, it just depended on the person, because there are some women that have horrible finances and horrible credit and make horrible financial decisions, and as a result of that, the lifestyle will reflect that. And then there are women that we know that also, and may not know, that are wealthy and have multiple streams of income, or even work a 9-to-5 but have money left over, know how to manage and budget their money well. I think it really just depends on where that person is at the time.
So you don't think it has anything to do with male or female, it just depends on the person individually?
Not right, exactly.
Because there's also go ahead. There's also something going around that when women have to take on that financial responsibility, which is what made me think about her, because I seen this other podcast, they were saying when women have to take on that financial responsibility, that's when the masculine side comes out and they're not able to carry their feminine side to be able to nurture and do the things that men want from women. Because at the end of the day, if it comes down to it, there's really another video that I seen where the woman talks about just respecting the man, listening to the man, and I forget what the other one was. Yeah. But if in our relationship, if I didn't have to work and you were, because you can hold the household down, but where we are right now, it doesn't make. I want to work, so right. I'm choosing to work, and that's where our finances. We'll get into that in a minute. But in that situation,
can I intervene or interject? So what you said was kind of like so just to make sure I'm understanding correctly, you were saying you heard something where, like, when women tend to have to take over that breadwinner role, or they're responsible, like, or just, I guess that's a good way to put it, like they take over the breadwinner role, they tend to have, like, they're less submissive to the man that they're with. So to talk on that, obviously it's not for everybody, but majority of women that we tend to hear what they're attracted to when it comes to, let's just say for a heterosexual norm, when they're looking for a guy, typically they want a guy more masculine. Like, even if we go back to the world of just being like,
Game of Thrones.
Even then, but just since the history of the evolution of the human race, women have always wanted men that are more masculine and protective and providers. That's why men also for most mating rituals, even other species of animals, right, where the male animal provides a gift for the woman that they're trying to, at the bar, we buy a girl a drink, or they get flued out, so to speak. You know what I mean? So I feel like as a result of biology or whatever what women are typically more attracted to, I could see why taking on that breadwinner role, it would be hard to really respect the guy that, because if most women are looking for a leader, then leader isn't a bad thing at all. Like, it doesn't mean always bossing you around and all of that. It's just as a leader, somebody that can guide the family.
I feel that, and then to interject as well.
I'm almost finished.
Okay, go
so,
ahead.
You know what I'm saying? If they're typically looking for that, then I could see how them being the breadwinner role, you have typically having more money or more resources in general since the history of time typically made you more dominant in a society. Mm-hmm. And even just protecting your family. You get sick, all right, we got these, take care of the medical bills. Like, you know what I'm saying? You want something, go get it. Like, we gotta hire a lawyer or hire security, we got that. So that, with money, it allows you to kind of be that protector in that leader role. So when women are not only taking on that responsibility, but then also taking on the stress that also comes with being the breadwinner or the financial head of the house, tend to look at men. Like, most men that are breadwinners typically, like, not everyone, but like, it is a responsibility to be the breadwinner of the family. It's not just a power trip. You know what I mean? It's not, we got bad apples out there that use their money and power as a form of control, but you have majority of men that I know of that make more money in their family, or money in general, do it for the betterment of their family. But it comes with a massive headache and a massive stress and a massive responsibility.
For the man?
For
anyone.
So imagine the men that are breadwinners. Now imagine women taking on that same responsibility, which now in today's age, with like women having equal rights to men and being able to go out in the workforce or whatever path they choose, which is great. I'm behind that. But there is no but back to what I was saying is like, if women are now becoming more breadwinners and they're becoming wealthier and they're taking on more of that burden, it's gonna harden women up. It's gonna be hard for a woman to be truly in her feminine and her relaxed form, you know what I'm saying, her most comfortable state, and feel vulnerable with you if, one, she makes money, so she feels like she gotta protect her bread. You know what I'm saying? Make sure she ain't getting used. But then also, let's say if it's y'all in a serious relationship, she gotta also make sure the money is coming in right to make sure the bills is paid. The same thing anybody would work on. So to answer your question, so I can go on tangents, to answer your question, I can see how women would be more masculine, or it could be hard for them to look at somebody as like a leader, or, if they're the breadwinner of the home.
I get that, and I guess my perspective on it, I feel like it really depends on the person individually.
Fact.
I do know men, because I used to laugh, like in the beginning of our relationship. I remember us sitting on top of the mountain and I'm like, when's our water bill due? When's our electric due? You got the rent. Obviously everybody knows the rent's due on the 1st. Like, right. They make songs about it, we know that. But it was funny to me because that was an area where you just didn't know. But also it's because I handled that. So a lot of times, for me, I feel like as long as money's coming, I would say I'm really good at, even if money's tight, I'm not as stressed. I mean, I'm still stressed, but I'm really good at handling my emotions and stress. But I would say I can handle financial responsibility. It's just when things get tight, sometimes it's hard for me to let that go. But I don't think that has anything to do with me just being a woman, or if it's just when things are hard, it's easy for you to kind of like not be able to let your hair down when you're in a financial rut, whatever that mistake may be.
And so the reason why I think that may be, like, I think the reason why it's harder for you to let your hair down, and then I won't go long because we got like 3 minutes left before the end of the show, but essentially, like, I can see why it would be harder for you to let your hair down. Because with us, since we've been together for such a long time, it's fluctuated where, like, I'm making all the money in the house, or you making all the money in the house, or we were both making money, but mine might be less, or yours might be less. Like,
how was our relationship when we were going through that?
I feel like when you were making all of the money, I didn't like the version of you that I was getting. Like, which I'm self-aware. So for somebody that's not self-aware, I kind of feel bad for them in this situation. I don't feel bad for them. They should just be more self-aware, but I can still feel for them. My brother said this. a while ago, years ago. He said, how can I put this in the most politically correct? So pretty much nothing will kill a woman's arousal towards you more than having to go in her pocket. And give, like, pretty much having to go in her pocket and give out of her pocket. So I never understood it until, like, me and you really got together, because then when money's getting harder, it, like, especially that's why women are better. I feel like women are better at multitasking than most men. But, like, everything is intertwined with you. So if something goes well today and we somehow, like, let's say we hit a goal or something or whatever happened, like, you gonna be in a great mood. Like, you gonna, you know what I'm saying? It's more likely for it to be you more into it on a arousal or just feminine or just relaxing or just having a good time. Like, it's gonna be easier, because why wouldn't it be? But if you're having a crap day or we're losing money or something goes wrong, it all intertwines. For me, it's different because I'm, like, my mind, I'm good at compartmentalizing. So when I'm not making music, I ain't thinking about music. When I'm not at work, I ain't
and for me, it's really hard for me to do that.
It's all intertwined together.
We could be having sex and I'm thinking about finances.
Right.
Or I'm thinking about something that I encountered that day. It is really hard for me to turn something off to focus on one thing.
Right. So I think with times changing, you are going to see a difference in dating culture. We're not going to have a choice if it continues to, like, because
where we are right now, 2 incomes is very important. Because I was talking to another lady that she went through a divorce back in, like, 2015. I'll say, I can't remember. Or no, I'm sorry, he passed away. He passed away in 2015. She remarried last year or this year, and she went through a hard time where she got behind on her mortgage because she just didn't have the money coming in, and then plus the loss of her husband. Now she called me, she's like, hey, I want to get everything back on track. This is like almost a year or 2 later of her not making any payments to her mortgage. Now that she had found another spouse, she said she'll have 2 incomes coming in, she's ready to get back. So I know there's a part 2, because we're getting ready to cut this, because I know we have to
we're just gonna go into
the sex part. Yeah. The next episode is gonna kind of segue into what we were just saying. So to kind of sum up right now, me personally, I feel like you need to go off for strengths and weaknesses. And if you know that if both of us are carrying our weight, I feel like that's what's going to help. I feel like what really gets people in a bind where they want to talk about women being financial or men being financial, it's not even about who's carrying the financial situation. It's more so if the other person is not helping. If one person is working hard and doing everything, and then they come home and this person's not contributing financially, not contributing to the household, not contributing to my peace or anything in that nature, I feel like that's really where the problem's coming from. It doesn't matter if it's a woman or a man making more money. Both parties need to carry their weight when it comes to parenting, when it comes to a relationship, when it comes to turning into sexual, anything sexual. Like, there's times where, like, I come on to you, but you have to come on to me. Like, we have to keep it going to keep everything in. Yeah. Yes, it will never be 100% balanced, but it go back into that teeter-totter method. We have to get back to the teeter-totter method. And if y'all get out there and y'all dealing with relationships, even friendships, like if someone's just giving and someone's taking, and it's not a give and take relationship, it's not gonna work.
Yeah, it ain't gonna work at all. And honestly, I think also too, back to what you said earlier, I do know what date my bills are due now. Just because, again, I'm self-aware. So like, bro, you cannot not know. Like, personally, like, even when I talk to
you, were just focused on other aspects of our relationship. Like, right. I handled the bill.
Right.
Excuse me. You give me the money and I pay him.
Right. And also, when it would come down to that, it's like, I don't know, I just didn't really like being like how that lady was. I hear guys that are like that too. I personally don't like not being able to, like, understand what's going on.
And I feel like you need to, because if something was to happen to me, we talk about this. If I get sick or if I pass away or just whatever the case may be,
I gotta know when these.
You need to know. Like,
I ain't know the electric bill went up.
You're gonna be sitting in the house and this is gonna be dark dark and
Right.
you have no water, no nothing. It's like, I feel like as a person, and to be honest, my mom's dealing with that. My mom has always depended on a man, and because she's always dependent on a man, when she has to take that responsibility, it's not because she can't mentally handle it, it's because she doesn't know how now, because she never has. So I feel like in the homes, we don't have kids, but when we have kids, they're gonna know when our bills are due. You know what I mean? Like not when they're like babies and stuff. You know what I mean? But when they get in high school, like they need, that's the only way for them to learn, is that we have to start teaching them that responsibility. And I honestly would teach them that way. Our bills, I would let them know, like, hey, this is when the bills are due. Like, to kind of teach them, so when they get their own house, they're learning. Because that's one thing we messed up on when we got our first house. We didn't know how to pay bills.
Yeah.
We didn't know how to communicate.
What are we talking about our next episode?
So, but so to kind of sum it up really quick.
We already did. What are we talking about on our next episode?
To sum it up really quick, what we do financially, honestly, we split everything, and it works for us right now.
Yeah.
We split everything. So like if we go out, sometimes I'll take the tab, sometimes he'll take the tab.
I don't know about
We do take the tab.
I don't know, because to be honest, you are right. Like there's never a time where I'm like, dang, I've been spending like, I don't have a problem with just like, all right, the tab come, I'll pay for it. Like, when we typically go out, I typically do more of the spending. When it comes to the bills,
you do more of the spending. That's why you pay more. Is that what you're about to say?
No, I'm not. When I say pay more, I meant like
you say
I
you do
more
most of the spending.
Right, where I'm paying the tab.
Because you're the one spending.
Like when we go out, I'm paying for parking. I'm paying for like.
Because you drove.
No,
you know what I mean?
If you were in the car, bro, we drove.
You bought the 4 drinks, so why am I paying for your 4 drinks?
Bro,
when I only had 1.
All right, we're gonna talk. This is what we're gonna talk about. We're gonna talk about all the dating expenses you should know before you go out on a date, male or female.
Yes. All right, guys. But until next time,
go be great.
Go be great.